Welcome back, traders. Second portion of our show. We got some market movers today. Let's start with the House of Mouse.
Yeah, the House of Mouse is in the house today because, Joel, it is doing very well here this morning. 36.22 last trade after closing 34.64. They're loving the earnings from last night. This thing was topping out in the 36 area, but I think with the market lift here, it's getting a little bit more of a top here today. 36.5, like right around that area. I think it's 36.53 was the high for the last 3 months. Joel can probably give you the exact number, but that's been the high in the last 3 months. So I think you'll probably find your initial resistance at that point. If it gets above there, then it starts to open up a little bit more, almost up to like that 38 area. But what do you think on House of Mouse, Joel?
Well, it just seems like not too long ago they were missing earnings and lowering guidance, and stock dipped below 29. We've had a monster rally here. That number you're referring to is 36.60. That should be major resistance. That was the high back on October 27th. Really seem to be topping out here in the pre-market at 36.22. Looks like we got someone that is looking to sell a little stock in that area. So for the longs, I think it's going to be rough sledding up from 36.22, or this area right here, up to that 36.60 level. If it broke above there, I think I would just have to be hands off, because I don't see much in the 37s, and I don't think this is going to 38.75 today.
E-Trade Financial, ETFC, came out last night after the bell, announced that they have no intentions to sell themselves. There's been Citadel's been pressing them for a sale. Some of the other shareholders have been hoping that they would put the company up for sale. They're saying, no, we aren't interested in selling ourselves. The stock's trading down 40 cents. It's this $9 area has been a magnet. It was a magnet last night. Seemed to be a magnet this morning. We bounced up below. We're at 908 right now. So I think you're going to see some support here, this $9 area. I'd use it for my swing number. We start to cut through there, and then maybe, we could break down further. Longer term perspective, the chart does not look good on the stock. We had a 10 support held there for a good few weeks. We cut through there yesterday. Maybe somebody knowing that this information is going to be coming, because interesting enough, E-Trade closing down 34 cents on a day we were up in the overall market. So probably somebody had a little inclination into this news coming out after the bell. But regardless,
no, Dennis.
Well, we're not pointing fingers. We're just saying something looks up on the charts when the stock's down 34 cents on a day when all the financials are out. Well, some of the financials, I guess, were down yesterday. So we'll give them the benefit of the doubt, but something looked fishy there. Anyways, cut through 10. Now we're at 9. I don't like this stock really at least until 8, but from a longer term perspective, but I don't know if I really like this stock at all from a longer term perspective.
Okay, we did bottom out at 881 in the pre-market, so let's call support, from the $9 level down to the 880. If we do in fact break below that level, boy, Dennis, there's just not a lot there. You got a low at 860 back on October 7th, so we'll look for that as support. And, just kind of pre-market here, we seem to be topping out right around the 915 level. So let's call the range 880 to 915.
Molycorp, which is symbol MCP, announced earnings after the bell last night. They're not good. The stock is trading down almost $3, $35.94 after closing at $38.70. I was going to say this stock probably have major resistance up in that 40 area, but we're so far away from there that doesn't come into play now. I was looking, I think you could have a minor stopping point at 35, but I don't know. These stocks are tricky. A high multiple stock, it could, start going one way and could get some momentum going. What do you think on resistance support there, Molycorp, Joel?
Well, in the pre-market, we did break down below, 35, 34.72. So if in fact I was short the stock and we broke down under 35, I'd, look to cover it there. Looking around the charts, it would have been nice to hit this thing going through, 36. It's just been hovering above that level since the middle of October, and now we've sliced through there and we're kind of trading in that level. So if this thing can get back above 36 and hold a little bit, I wouldn't be surprised to see it pop up and perhaps test 37.
A couple of retailers reporting. Last night we have Nordstrom, which is JWN, reporting earnings. The stock is trading down pretty significantly now. Earlier, when I posted the market movers on JWN, it hadn't traded yet, but now it has traded quite a bit here. $48 looks like where it's kind of finding its range after closing at $49.62. So that's a pretty big breakdown for this stock. I'm looking at the chart here, and I would argue that, yeah, maybe there's something at 48, but I think the better support's way down at 46. What do you think on JWN, Joel?
You got a little stopping point here. October 6th, 47.24, you had the low. That was the impetus for the rally up to over 53. So we're coming back down now. I do like that 47.24 level. On the initial panic after the earnings, we bottomed out at 46.46. So, if in fact we cut through that 47 level, look for support at the overnight low of 46. 46.46 is a nice number for you. We popped as high as 49 after we hit that number. So, let's call the range 47 to 49 here in Nordstrom.
Dillard's reporting this morning, which is DDS. Stock closed at 55.17. Is trading $52 right now, so it's down $1.17. I'm looking at the chart here. We've had this slow climb up over the last month to this 55 area of resistance. Now we've completely, obviously, broken down here with the bad earnings report. $50 looks huge to me on this. Yeah. We topped out there. If we go back into, just see the date, back into mid-September, we couldn't really break through that resistance and failed there once. Then we broke out through it in October, came back, retested it a couple times. That 50 area held. So I'd be shocked if that 50 area doesn't, give you some support if the stock does get down there.
Yeah, I don't know if we're going to get back down there, Dennis, today.
51.40 now, Joel. It just fell another 60 cents since we just talked. Not that far away. Not that far away. That magnet, that tractor beam magnet starts to come into play if it gets too close.
Well, 51.30 was the low back on this November 2nd here. So look, and that's currently where we're trading. That's currently the low in the pre-market. I think you're going to get a little bounce off that area, perhaps call it down to 51. I don't think the stock is really going to go back into a rally mode until we can get over the 52.65 level, seeing the top out there in the pre-market. But we're trading at 51.60 now. How about if I take 52.60 and you take 50.60?
No, because it's already, the momentum's on. There's always a bounce, and we're so early. There hasn't been locked in, so that's a sucker's bet for me because this thing could trade 52.60. It's 52.40 offered right now. I'm going to trade 52.60 in 5 minutes.
I just lift the offer, go long 100 shares, so I can win the bet.
No, you're trying to rip me off on that bet. No deal on that one. But I do think this stock is headed towards 50, possibly even today. That's just my feeling on it. We'll move on, though. Go ahead.
Just one thing, I'm just going back to my, I probably have said this 1,000 times, when I walk through these stores like Nordstrom's and things like that, Macy's, I just don't know who buys all the crap in those places,
Well, people got to wear clothes, and they do sell a lot of designer clothes, so there is, some competition, obviously. There's a lot of clothing stores you go through. But, it seems like, a lot of times, you get these Dillards here, and I don't know what to say. Fundamentally speaking, the stock has actually performed pretty well, but, this quarter obviously disappointed.
I guess if you saw what I wore, you could tell I don't do a whole lot of shopping, so good thing we're not on TV yet.
DHI, I got to change the subject because I don't talk about my wardrobe. DHI, D.R. Horton, home builder stock, reported earnings here this morning. 11.66 closed out. We got one trade at 11.54. We had a big block go through at 11.35, but I'm not going to count that. Actually, there was a few lower trades. 10.63, it actually did trade down to, but just 100 shares down there. So I think that was just overdone. So I'm just kind of ignoring that. Even my eyes ignored it because I didn't see the print off the bat. But $11 looks pretty big to me on this, Joel.
Huge.
I do see some. Yeah, so I think if it was to get down to that area, I think you'd find some support there. Obviously, some of your other home builders like Toll Brothers or KB Homes could have a sympathy move here, so just keep those stocks in mind as well. What do you think on DHI, Joel?
Yeah, I'd see good support from 1074 to the 1101 area. I mean, you had that one spotty trade at 1060. I don't see that. So let's call $11, 11, to 1150. It did close up near its high of the day. So if we bust through this 1175, 1182 level, look for $12. Big move.
Just looking through here, I don't see too many other real significant movers here this morning. Obviously we're up 11 points in the SPOOs. It seems to be somewhat financial based here again. So I wouldn't be surprised if some of your financial stocks, like Citigroup's trading up almost 2%. So you've got a little bit of your financial stocks that are trading up a little bit more. But those are kind of your catalyst and your driver right now. So this financial starts to roll over, your overall market seems to follow. So just keep that in mind when you're trading these stocks. Some things coming into resistance that we talked about on the Big Ten show. Anything else you want to close with, Joel?
Just look for a test of that Globex high there, 1251 and a quarter, right above the major resistance we had at 1249. So we are opening up into resistance. Yesterday was, an example where, we popped out the open. We couldn't get to the Globex high and we broke down. Don't know if that will be the scenario today, but keep a real close eye on this 1249 to 1251 area. That's our show here for Veterans Day. We hope you all have a good weekend, and we'll be back with you on Monday.